Hollywood, Babylon. All right, Mike Cernovich here. I'm co-hosting with him. Always great to have him on. One of the most prolific journalists out there and one of the tireless ones, most tireless. I think Trump via Huckabee's daughter, the press secretary, Huckabee Sanders, has put out really a perfect statement. I think this is my statement as well. You've seen a lot of fake allegations over time, so we got to wait and see what happens. But if it's true, step down. And we've got the quote right here. Like most Americans, the president believes that we cannot allow a mere allegation in this case, one from many years ago, to destroy a person's life, Sanders said. However, the president also believes that if these allegations are true, Judge Moore will do the right thing and step aside. I mean, this is because listen, this hit me while I was on air yesterday, and I just saw the first article that came out saying no sexual contact and told a girl that she was pretty in front of her mom. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, I hadn't read all the rest of it. And the South in some areas is like it was 200 years ago, where older men would want a younger wife that was 15 years younger so they would be able to take care of them when they're old. I mean, this is really, I want to say backward stuff, but that's, I mean, because a lot of my family's from Alabama that founded Texas. They came out of Alabama and Tennessee. But back in those days, a lot of times, especially if one wife had died on you that was the same age, usually you got about 2 wives. If you lived a long time, a couple of your wives would die. And it was vice versa. That was like George Washington married Martha, and her husband had died. A lot of people died young. And it is from history, and that's the only shot he's got of it not being creepy. It's not illegal. I think it's creepy. I think Hugh Hefner was creepy. Well, 85 going after 18-year-olds, that's really creepy. But going to parents and then courting their 17, 18-year-old daughters to see if they're going to be a good wife. We should look. Did he end up marrying one of these girls? I guess he's still with her. I guess his wife does look a lot younger than him. That was the old tactic. You would actually get a 10, 15-year-old younger wife to, quote, take care of you. They didn't have nursing homes back then. Your wife took care of you. That might be what this is. But other than that, 14-year-olds coming to visit at his house, I don't like it. And again, I'm somebody, when I have limited info, I have one view. When I get more, I have more. Mike Cernovich, what do you think?
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up, by the way, because the truth fears no inquiry, right? I'm not here playing a defense lawyer for Roy Moore. I'm the one who has said, actually, I read the article, and he had been courting an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old. Apparently, he may have asked a 16-year-old out on a date, which I'm not going to defend that behavior.
No.
But what I know is
if I catch a 35-year-old man trying to pick up my 14-year-old daughter, they're going to get their damn jaw broken.
But what I found interesting is that Roy Moore would go to the mothers, okay, in all those instances. The specific allegation involving the 14-year-old, it claims that he went behind the mom's back, picked up the 14-year-old, drove her out to a house, put her down on the floor, gave her wine, and then came out in tighty-whities. That's pedophile behavior right there. And as we know, pedophiles never stop. But we hadn't heard anything
exactly.
like this.
That's why I questioned it, is there's never history. But then, you know what? So it may all be a complete lie. That's what I'm saying. Just like Trump said, if you know, we got to check into this, make sure it's true. We've seen a lot of lies, but if it is true.
Yeah, exactly. Pedophiles, they never quit, and we haven't. This isn't like Kevin Spacey. We heard about Kevin Spacey and Charlie Sheen and Louis. We've heard stuff like that for years, and in some cases.
And let's be clear: as libertarians, as conservatives, when we see that this could be possible, we're jumping all over it instead of just ignoring it like the Democrats do.
Exactly. Well, and I also mentioned, why is the media not looking into Bob Menendez? They actually covered that up. He's accused by federal prosecutors. This isn't the Menendez accusation doesn't involve an accusation of the Washington Post, which has spread a lot of fake news. Federal prosecutors had actually said in an article that and I sent this, of course, to the production team, about Bob Menendez. So why are the media not asking Democrats, hey, if this stuff about underage people is true, will you disavow him? The media is completely silent about Bob Menendez. They covered up Bill Clinton's multiple rape accusations, but now when it's Roy Moore, they're like, look at us, we're steadfast defenders, and we're really going to do aggressive journalism. It's like, well, wait a minute. They ignored Renita Broderick, right? They covered up for Bill Clinton, the rapist, for years. They're not talking about Bob Menendez. And that's the problem here that you and I and other people have is, if this is true, hey, I hope somebody, legally, of course, I'm not going to make threats on air, but if it's true that Roy Moore tried to take advantage of a 14-year-old, man, I don't care what happens to that guy. The issue is that where was the media believing the victims of Bill Clinton? Where's the media talking about Bob Menendez? Where's the media actually being a hero?
And we got Bill Clinton settling rape cases, paying money. I mean, we've got bona fide.
Exactly. And the media pretends it doesn't happen. Bill Clinton's a hero. Bill Clinton's a great man. They never talked about how Hillary Clinton enabled the rape. They never talked about how
she liked to represent child molesters.
Right. Hillary Clinton represented a child rapist, laughed because she was able to traumatize a young girl who was never able to actually have children because the rape was so violent. The media never asked Charles Schumer, hey, Anthony Weiner, let's just talk about the truth, Alex. Let's talk about the truth for a minute, because this is opening up a lot of questions. One is that Charles Schumer groomed, which maybe is an unfortunate word considering what Anthony Weiner was doing, but Charles Schumer groomed Anthony Weiner to be a successor. Anthony Weiner was in Congress, but I don't hear the media saying, hey, Democrats, do you comment about Anthony Weiner? He's going to prison. He is
Yeah. Where is Chuck Schumer disavowing? I got all these text messages and calls from media. Do you disavow Roy Moore? Well, it's easy to disavow David Duke because we know what he stands for. With Roy Moore, we don't know if he's guilty.
Right. And why wasn't the media asking people, do you disavow Bob Menendez? Do you disavow Anthony Weiner? They go, oh, they call us mean. They go, how dare you try to exploit this tragedy for your own political ends? They go, how dare you politicize these sex crimes? And I go, wait a minute. That's what they're doing right now. And that's why they can't cry now, because we don't necessarily believe them. We don't take the Washington Post, Alex. They still call me alt-right. Over a year ago, I said, look, I didn't know these people were lunatics. I thought they were just people trying to, have some uncomfortable conversations. I didn't know they wanted to throw Nazi salutes and carry Hitler flags. So over a year ago, I said, I'm not alt-right. I want nothing to do with those guys. The Washington Post to this day calls me alt-right, which is a lie.
By the way, Paul Watson over a year ago said the same thing. We're new right. We're not alt-right. And we even identify, and they won't let us identify as we want to identify. They claim it's so important to let someone identify as they identify, but with us, they won't let us do it.
Exactly. And then they go, well, Cernovich, how dare you not believe the Washington Post? Yeah, how dare I not believe a publication that lies about me in a very easy way, and in a way where they're trying to get me murdered, actually. If you call somebody a white nationalist while you're telling people go punch a Nazi, then what you're doing, if you're in the media, you're trying to get me murdered. I'm a father. It's very easy to see that I'm not.
Exactly. And I want to ask you about the Texas and Vegas and more, and how Trump's doing when we come back. Mike Cernovich, Cernovich at Twitter. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. Please don't forget, I've got to end it today or tomorrow. I've got to end it soon, because we have free shipping and we have a lot of our best-selling products at 50% off, and that's really 50% off. And I only mark up products 100%. So when it's 100% marked up, remember, there's cost and expense in that. So when you're cutting something off 50%, some of these are loss leaders. Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality, Secret 12, Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash with colloidal silver and iodine. People really, really love it. What it does for their gums, gingivitis, you name it. It's amazing. It's at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. 50% off all the Patriot apparel. We never do that. At InfoWarsStore.com. Want to thank you all for your support, by the way, but this special has got to end. It will be over by the weekend. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. It is such a revolutionary act to financially fund this operation and also spread the articles, the videos, and that's how we're getting around the censorship. I'll ask Mike Cernovich about that as well straight ahead. So back in 2005, The Family Guy had an episode where the baby that could talk escapes from Kevin Spacey's sex dungeon for children. And again, over and over again, they say he does this, just like the Weinstein jokes. It shows they knew and then made jokes about it. We're going to go back to Mike Cernovich here in just a moment. We're still messing with his microphone. And, hey, it happens. He's remote. We appreciate him joining us. But we're going to loop this a few times for you to point out, where were the accusations of Judge Roy Moore? Where were the accusations of Trump before he ran for office? That's why it's all suspect. Could it be true? Absolutely. But the timing is everything. Where do these, I mean, I've been a public figure for 20-something years, been very well known for 5, 6. Where are the accusations? They can make them up about me, folks. This is a political war. Is Moore guilty? It hasn't been confirmed he courted 17-year-olds. I think that's just a little weird if it's true. I looked at his wife to see their similarities. Here it is. There really aren't. She was 24. He was 38. 14-year age difference. Still married. And that is, I'd forgotten, I really thought about it, kind of an old-fashioned thing where men get a wife older than them to take care of them. Get a wife that's young and can cook so she can take care of when you're old. I mean, everybody in my family married women the exact same age. My dad, mom, same age. My grandparents, one grandfather was 2 years older. The other grandfather was a year older. That's usually, it's about a year or two older is kind of usually how it is, because that's who's in your group and, you know, who's into the same things. But it all varies. It's not bad if some 70-year-old guy wants to have a 30-year-old wife. She's just probably doing it because she wants some money, but hey, who cares? The old guys will tell you, I don't care if she just wants some money, sonny. But it's totally different when they start going after children. And let me tell you, if a Judge Roy Moore truly did that and asked to date my 14-year-old daughter, I'm telling him, you're a creepy person. You better get off my front porch. You might get punched in your nose. But again, there's no proof yet. We'll see, though. And if there is, we'll report it. Here is that clip from the Family Guy.
Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Help me! Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Help me! Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Help me! Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Help me! Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement.
And, of course, it turns out, according to the family, Kevin Spacey's father was a devil-worshipping Nazi who tortured them in a basement. Mike Cernovich, pretty incredible. Where do you think all this is going?
Yeah, and I think Seth MacFarlane had also made a joke about how women now won't have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein. So clearly they all know a lot. And more. Oh,
they've said it at award shows. They've got all these actresses in TV movies saying, you know, I've had Harvey Weinstein try to have sex with me 5 times and refused twice.
Exactly. And I predicted on a podcast before the Kevin Spacey thing hit, I said, now with the Weinstein stuff, the pedophile stuff is going to become very intense now. And then suddenly, you know, Kevin Spacey, that allegation came out. The allegation against Charlie Sheen came out as well. The Daily Mail is reporting on that. We're gonna hear more of it. We're not even at 10%. It's the tip of the iceberg. And people are now realizing what degenerates, and not even degenerates, but what sexual predators they are in Hollywood.
Why is the number so high? Because, I mean, I got to tell you, I wouldn't say I knew Charlie Sheen super like best buddies or close friends, but I probably stayed at his house 13, 14 times that I can remember. A lot of times I'd use it as a hotel. He had a big, nice house. I'd be out there working. He'd say, hey, stay here. Working, reading books. He had a dedicated to whatever wife he had, smoking a lot of cigarettes, drinking a lot of coffee. Then he started using drugs and stuff, and it wasn't cool. I've only been over there like twice the last 6 years or so, you know, try to get him off drugs. But I saw some wild women there, but they were all like 30, 35. You know, and people told me, yeah, I know his taste is like, you know, full-grown women. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm also worried about them spiking some fake stories on somebody like Charlie, who's an easy target, and I'm not saying it's fake. It's to be taken very seriously. Because he's an easy target, then that kind of diverts off from other people.
Oh, well, there's all kinds of things going on right now. I'm surprised that I haven't heard anything about you or me or Paul Joseph Watson or something completely fabricated too, because they do want to deflect, and that's why, you know, this Roy Moore stuff comes out. It was all Democrats being called out, all Hollywood people. And then now there's Roy Moore. So every day that I wake up, I expect to see a false, completely fabricated story about me or friends of ours, because that's what they have to do now to try to say, look, everybody is. It isn't just the Democrat Hollywood elite. It isn't just the Bob Menendezes and the Anthony Weiners and the Bill Clintons.
Sure, I said this 2 months ago.
Everybody.
The only way for them to have credibility after they covered up the Clintons and everything is to burn a bunch of their own, then get that rolling, and then have some cred to go after the conservatives, Christians, and libertarians.
Exactly, and that could be their next play. It's very hard to say, but with social media and the people waking up, it is going to be very hard. For example, most of my people, not even most, 90% of people who read me don't believe any allegation because it's in the Washington Post. Now, if you or I broke this story, or if Breitbart or Drudge broke this story, our people would believe it. But WAPO has lied so many times now that it isn't going to affect us. So even if they did fabricate things about us, our listeners aren't even going to believe it because they're going to say,
sure.
you know, these people that if you'll lie and call these people alt-right, if you lie and call them Nazis, then why wouldn't you lie and fabricate all kinds of sexual?
Well, I liked your point. I think it was with Newsweek where they were pointing out. You're like, why are you calling Democrats pedophiles? Well, they keep getting busted. It was like, why are we obsessed with pedophiles? Well, no, they are. And then you go, hey, you keep calling us Nazis with absolutely no proof. So how does that feel? But expanding on this, we now have Project Veritas with them saying shut down Infowars, #1 job with YouTube, with Google. Now we have them in hearings with the director of Twitter saying we shut down Alex Jones and Paul Watson at lunch. Lawyers tell me this is powerful civil rights violation. Why are they so open about it? What's going on?
Well, remember when during the DNC leaks, Paul and you and I, we were saying that Twitter was censoring the hashtag, and Twitter goes, absolutely not, we didn't do that. And then in testimony, they go, well, actually, we deleted 48% of the tweets and censored the hashtags, right? So everything that we've said they've been doing, they are, in fact, doing because they want to silence the people. And that is really why the support of the people and the listeners and the readers now matters more than ever, because this is not an attack on you and me. We're just puppets to the globalist pedophile masterminds. You and I, they're attacking us because we're public figures. Ultimately, this is an attack on every nuclear family in America. They're trying to destroy the nuclear family. They're trying to enslave people.
That's it. We're figureheads of the nuclear family and of just basic sanity. And if they can shut us down, they can shut everybody down. And they now, exactly, they lied about it and said they weren't. Now they have to admit it because they know they've been caught. So the decision is hide it in plain view.
Exactly. So what you and I, if we went away and somebody replaced us, then the media would never even talk about us. They would talk about whoever the new person on the vanguard was, the new public figure. Fundamentally, anybody who preaches a pro-America, pro-family, pro-morals, because I respect all religions, anybody trying to live a moral life, Jewish, whether that's Jewish or Muslim or Christian, who's really trying to be moral and live a better life, I respect all of that. But they want to destroy everybody who has any kind of religion. That way, I mean, think about it. This is what's coming out, and the women who are making accusations are powerful people. Imagine the household people who can't speak English that are being raped. So let's talk about this for a minute, because this was called a conspiracy theory by the media before. You and I had said that they want, that they being the globalists and the Democrat Hollywood media pedophile establishment, they want open borders so then they can bring in vulnerable women and children to rape. And people go, oh, that's crazy.
And now it's all out that they're using the human trafficking to do that.
Right. But if they will attack and sexually assault very affluent, high-profile women, imagine what they're doing to their domestic household staff. I'll be surprised if we don't hear more. And we gotta just say, look, if you come forward against Hollywood, we have to give them citizenship. We have to just say, look, if you're going to be a whistleblower about your Hollywood pedophile master, then we're not going to deport you. We're going to take care of you, treat you like the American.
Sure. What about this New York group that it turns out they tell them is a feminist group, and they brand the women reportedly and call them man master, and it's all a big liberal group. I mean, we already know about, there's other groups people haven't heard about, but that's what this is.
Yeah, it's a sex cult. Again, everything that they go, oh, spirit cooking conspiracy theory, Hillary's health conspiracy theory. Well, there's now a proven spirit cooking sex cult. Well, wow, welcome to where you and I were a year ago. So what we're talking about today, that'll be what people will talk about tomorrow and in the future. Wow,
Mike Cernovich, at Cernovich, thank you so much for hosting this hour with us. Look forward to speaking to you more. Owen Schroer in the War Room is coming up right now. They're trying to jam the signal, folks. They can't stop you when you share the articles. Owen Schroyer coming up. Please spread the links.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.